It's time to sit back, relax, and listen to Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life will inspire, motivate, and empower you. Live your best life now. Listen, learn, think, and decide. Change your attitude, change your life. And now, here's your host, Joan Herman.
Welcome to Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. You're listening to us in your neighborhood from coast to coast and around the world. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Joan Herman, author, speaker, and your host. Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life brings you interviews with some of the most inspirational and influential people in the world. It's our goal to educate and empower you so you can live your best life now. Thank you for taking time for yourself, and thank you for letting us be a part of your life. We have another great show for you today. Joining me is astronaut Buzz Aldrin, the second man to walk on the moon. Buzz was a pilot on the Apollo 11 mission. He has reported on space activities for 45 years, and he continues to work as an advocate of space science and planetary exploration. Buzz is the author of the book, Mission to Mars, My Vision for Space Exploration. Welcome, Buzz. Thanks for joining us today.
Well, I'm happy to talk to the people who live around where I came from, New Jersey and New York area.
Buzz, I'm really happy to have you here. When I learned that I was going to interview you, I was taken back to grammar school. And I remembered when we watched the space mission on television. So this is truly an honor for me. And you're such a wonderful guest for this show because we talk about people following their dreams. And who better than a person that walked on the moon to be the person to inspire others to shoot for the moon? Was it always your dream to be an astronaut?
Well, no, it certainly wasn't. I grew up in an aviation family, and I knew I wanted to fly airplanes, and that was my primary motivation, and that took me to West Point and then the Air Force and into the Korean War, where I shot down a couple of airplanes, and then had other assignments, including the Air Force Academy when it first opened up, and then in Germany, 56 to 59, on alert with nuclear weapons to protect Europe against the Soviet invasion. I then went to MIT for over 3 years pursuing a doctor's degree, taking my fighter pilot experience and coming up with methods of manned rendezvous in space, which proved to be very instrumental in assisting the lunar orbit rendezvous method of bringing people back from the moon, a much more efficient system than had been proposed by Dr. von Braun. It was one of the critical decisions of the Apollo program.
Buzz, when you were waiting to launch, what was going through your mind? Did you think the mission would be a success?
Well, Apollo 11 was destined to make an attempt to land on the moon, and knowing that we could return if things went wrong from many parts of the mission, we felt we had a 95% chance of returning safely, but maybe only a 60% chance of making a successful landing. And since we did land eventually 6 out of 7 times, that's pretty close to 60%. And we were so successful that we could cancel out the remaining missions of Apollo and concentrate on space station simulation.
Buzz, how was it determined who would be the first person to walk on the moon?
Well, we both landed on the moon at the same time, and it was symbolically appropriate for the commander of the flight to make the first steps on the moon.
What did it feel like to walk on the moon?
We had done some simulations of the 1/6 gravity on the surface of the moon, hampered also by the spacesuit and the heavy backpack. It turned out to be far easier to move around slowly than we had thought it might be. So we could proceed to the experiments that we had been given to lay out during the brief 2.5 hour period. So while we're doing this quite successfully, we had to come back in a little earlier than we had hoped, but we did very successfully complete the experiments.
There was a problem during the mission. What happened?
Well, I discovered a circuit breaker that had broken off. It was an engine arm circuit breaker, and of course that has to be in for descent to the moon. Then it's pulled out, then it's pushed back in again so the engine can light to get us back into orbit and back home safely. This created a problem for Houston to determine just how to get around that broken circuit breaker, and eventually we did push that circuit breaker in several hours early, and were able to return successfully, and we managed to overcome that little difficulty and come home safely.
What you just described, plus the fact that you had the opportunity to see something that others will never get to see. You saw Earth from a different perspective. As a person, how did this help you view things differently? Or did it? Did you come back seeing things in a different light?
Well, I think everyone who's gone into space appreciates the great three-dimensional freedom that goes out to infinity or wherever that is, that is experienced as we move away from one major object of habitation, the Earth, and move toward another object. It gives you a real sense of the enormity that you really can't get by just looking up in the sky from Earth and reading textbooks and seeing stars at night. But when you're actually there between two objects like the Earth and the Moon, you get a much greater appreciation. If you've been flying jet aircraft, you get the same sense, but this is much, much greater freedom three-dimensionally from the surface of a gravity. I don't say that it makes a totally different person, but having done something that is of great significance, been dreamed about by millions of people for many, many years, it is an event that is rarely given to human beings here, and I consider that the same great honor is going to be given to some people who first land on Mars, except an even greater significance, because that will be the beginning of permanence on Mars, and we become a two-planet human system, and this will be a very great achievement.
The book is Mission to Mars, My Vision for Space Exploration by Buzz Aldrin. If you'd like to learn more about Buzz or his work, you can visit his website, buzzaldrin.com. Buzz, in our final moments, when I told people that I know that I would be interviewing you, a grammar school classmate of mine asked if you could say hello to the students in the school where she teaches, and those are the kids at North Dover Elementary School in New Jersey. So if you had a message for those students or for any children that are studying you and your work, what would you say to them to encourage them that anything is possible and that they should always shoot for the moon?
Well, if I could send a message to all the students, that's to essentially extend arms outward and walk through life, take advantage of all the things that you encounter and choose the ones that are most appropriate. And you can succeed if you have the will to apply yourself. And the opportunities are great for the future, and exploration and curiosity and fulfillment of questions are an inherent quality of human beings. And in order to explore beyond places, we must gather together the best resources. So parts that are played by thousands and millions of people across the globe, and you can be part of that and move up as your talents and desires carry you, or you can sit back and watch everybody else do important things in the world.
Buzz, thank you so much for joining me today. As I said in the beginning, it is truly an honor for me to have you here, and much continued success with your work and your new book.
Well, thank you very much. There's a children's book for much younger folks that you were referring to that'll be coming out in September, and it's about the planet Mars as if you were actually there. And I look forward to that being a great success and fascinating story of the future.
And our listeners can get more information about that book at buzzaldrin.com. Again, Buzz, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, you're very welcome. It's a great day here in Washington, and everybody have a good day wherever you are.
We'll be right back. Hi, this is Joan Herman, host of Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. Did you know that Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life has a free monthly digital magazine that can be read online or emailed to your inbox? Every month, nationally recognized leaders in their field provide information to educate, inspire, and motivate you. We believe in a holistic approach to life, incorporating mind, body, and spirit. Check out a copy of Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life 24/7. Visit cyacyl.com and be sure to tell your friends. Thank you for joining us today. We hope you found the show informative. At Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life, we believe that knowledge is power. Take what you've learned, apply it, and live your best life now. Remember that the information provided are the opinions of our guests and should never replace the advice of a professional who knows your personal situation. If you'd like more information, visit our website, cyacyl.com. That stands for Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. While on the site, listen to past shows on demand, read the digital magazine, and be sure to follow the show on Facebook and Twitter. Until next time, this is Joan Herman. Thanks for tuning in.